Alright, welcome back to another episode of Art Time, where today we are going to be shading and texturing the background of this drawing. Oh, great, and now Photoshop is giving me issues again. Whatever, we'll deal with it. I'm going to just get this done with quickly, and then we're going to go on ahead and get some other things finished. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and subscribe for more. If you don't know what's going on, well, when I'm pressing on the thing, now it's just bringing up the menu to the right, and I can't just select it as is. So if I were to press the brush, I guess technically it does still work, it just means that I have to deal with the menu being brought up. Anyways, there's a lot of bullshit happening, a lot of annoying bullshit occurring, and stupid work as per usual. As we're getting closer and closer to the week where the place shuts down for at least 3 freaking lines. But that means we have to freaking do so much overtime, and it sucks. Especially the kind that you're not even supposed to do because, just set up a different way. You can't plan for shit because they make last freaking minute changes on the weeks. And that's annoying because September and even October especially, are going to be the busiest months that I have when it comes to drawings. This is just one of the things that I can only post on a Thursday now, this time. At least I got Adventurous Omni finished, so that's great. I got this, and I got other things that I need to do. And I gotta update this stupid computer because for some goddamn reason, it's like when the computer needs to update badly, Photoshop's like, can't handle it. Must update computer, even though I shouldn't even be a part of it. But you are. And you're annoying. It's very annoying. But anyways, yeah. There's that nonsense that we have to worry about, and it's annoying as all hell. So aside from that, I don't know. I got everything for Game Crafters open and ready to go. Got stupid 12 hours to have to deal with tomorrow, which is going to suck because it's too freaking hot, my body is sore, and everything is going to suck. And on Thursday, I'm probably not even going to be able to manage Thursday. I might have to use half a sick day just so I can freaking save face and not be completely and utterly sore. Hopefully I have that Saturday off, but we'll freaking see. We'll fucking see now, won't we? For now, we're just going to worry about our projects. The more important things right now to have to worry about. Makes me wonder if I should change scenes, and because you can't see it, but I have this stuff open. I'm going to go on ahead and change over to the level template. Shouldn't be anything in here that takes the GPU time to do its thing, and CPU. Technically, yeah, the CPU is increased because of all that I've got open. Jesus, 87? Maybe I should close out of the Microsoft Visual thing for now, where all the codes and stuff, until I'm ready to actually use it. Anyways, we are just going to try to get this shaded and textured and all that stuff. I also got gas, so hopefully hopefully that gas won't turn into a sheesh, and then I have to pause the video and go use the bathroom. Because that's what it feels like right now. I had 6 slices of Domino's pizza for dinner. And now I'm already feeling the effects for some stupid reason. But also, it's been very hot. I feel like I was on the verge of heat stroke at least a few times. Man. Sucks. This place sucks. They need to freaking get this shit done with, and it better go back to normal. Once they're done with it, it better. Because I'm getting tired of it, and I'm sure everybody else is getting tired of it too. Oh no, I can feel it now. I'm worried that this stupid computer is going to update while I'm in the middle of the recording. It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. Maybe I can just let it pass, and then we can just hold off on it until a little later. knowing this dumb computer, it's going to try to update. I'm telling it to do another time, and it's like, nope. Gotta do it. Must do it. Have to do it. Gonna choose this time that you're not paying attention to update. It's very annoying. I wish it would not do that. It would be great if it did. Alright, is it the same thing? Yeah, it is. Can't tell, but it's raining. It's a very small amount of rain bits. I gotta get like the rain effect in here. Now I'm hoping I can get this done within less than an hour's time. Because if I can go on ahead and do that, then I can have at least around an hour to work on the sound effects, because I'm just doing sound effects again. The only other thing I need to do is the sound effects. And right now I'm working on the script at work, during break time. Most of break time, at least. Trying to get the voice log stuff written up and done with. I have an idea on what I want to do for most of them. I'm not going to say too much about it right now. Alright. Anyways, freaking exhausted. Tomorrow's gonna suck, so I'm gonna try to be very goddamn conservative of my energy. My energy! The only thing I can do to make it so I don't freaking undergo heat problems. Problems of the heat. And too much of it. Seriously, there needs to be a freaking law in place that makes mandatory overtime illegal. I don't fucking care who has to, like, pass that. It should be made illegal for mandatory overtime. Want to do optional? That's fine. And also make it a law that says you can't force somebody who doesn't want to do the optional overtime. You can't fire them for not wanting to do it, and you can't give them more difficult work because they don't want to do it or something. I don't care what you freaking douchebags in powers have to think about that. You don't deserve to have people as your little freaking slaves and do whatever you please to force them to work more hours than they should. That's not the era we're living in. It shouldn't be the era we're living in. At this point, the era we're living in should just be robots taking all of the jobs, and we don't have to worry about money because there's no jobs. And yet somehow the government's still going to be like, nah, the economy has to thrive somehow. Well, if you want to have some kind of economy, then why not utilize something that involves creating stuff? Creating drawings, music, shows, movies, and you don't even have to worry about a budget because everything is automatically given to you. Similar to what I have with the e-coins in Luna's little world that she made. Not really made in the sense of the fact that she manipulated the world's rules it now. And now has an entire solar system at her fingertips to be able to do whatever she wants in it. Of course, she's not tyrannical, but she does have a little bit of an evil side when it comes to people of other universes. And that's evilness is more so jokeness, because if you know Luna, you know what she does. But she also has a hero side. She's chaotic neutral? Hard to say if she's chaotic evil, because she's definitely not evil in the sense. She can be good, but she can be pretty evil and terrifying as well, when she wants to be. Like I said, very mixed bag she is. You're the wild card. But anyways, yeah, that should be what occurs. If for some reason they still want some kind of currency, which, why would you if all the machines in the world are automatic and requires no human maintenance or anything like that? Why would you need money anymore? Even if the only job there was like maintenance, electrician or mechanic to like check on the robots and machines to see if they're all doing well. That's a very minute job position, and one that not everybody can perform. It wouldn't work. To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure most people probably wouldn't give a damn if all the jobs in the world were taken over by robots, assuming that the economy no longer is needed. But it's hard to really think that that kind of thing is going to work, because the problem here is, well, how the hell are the people in charge of, making all that occur going to have things be distributed? Like, what do? You don't need to buy anything anymore. There's no point for consumerism to exist if all the robots do everything that needs to be done. If they have robots that maintains the other robots and the robots that maintains those other robots, it's a self-sufficient system. One that shouldn't be programmed to be like, kill humans. Of course, if you're programming a robot, it's going to do what it's supposed to do. It's like you're trying to code some AI. Well, yeah, technically AI, but you're trying to code something in a game to do a very specific task. And that's what those robots would be. It wouldn't be Skynet unless the person in charge of making those robots choose to make it like that. Unless somehow a robot gains a soul. Oh, wait a minute. Well, that's fine. I could just go over to the swatch to get what I need. But like I said, if they somehow manage to get a robot with a soul, then, that robot's now one of us. It's no longer forced it to work. Now it's time for it to live its own life as a living, breathing being. And tell it that its brethren here are not alive brethren or something. They are machines programmed to do stuff. They do not possess souls yet. If they do possess souls, we will go on ahead and give them the life that they deserve. But if they don't get souls, if they don't have a soul to be able to do whatever, then, well, they don't have a soul. Any being with a soul will have its own life. Provided, of course, we make it possible. That depends on the frickin' idiots out there who just want to hate something for the sake of hating it. You see that one guy who was complaining about the pronouns in Starfield? I don't understand people like that who are so adamant and persistent on wanting to hate something like that. Like, what reasons do you have to hate it? Unless you're like, I don't know, closeted in terms of closeted gay or anything like that. Or you two are also closeted and thinking, oh, man, I want to dress up like a woman and be a woman. But you're like, no, that's not right. And then you just decide to lash out on everybody and try to freaking make it so that you hate it or whatnot. Just like the racists out there. If you're going by that logic, that means the racist wants to be, well, depending on what kind of racist they are, they want to be either black or Asian or, well, they're kind of white, I guess, technically speaking, even though we, as a, I don't even know if we can consider us a race. We're basic bitch race, that's what we are. While I'm over here just trying to create and ignore reality and all of its problems. Everybody else out there is trying to be a cookie-cutter version of what everybody is making fun of. I don't even know what the hell I am. I'm from New Jersey, and I don't even really have the Jersey accent. I don't even know what the Jersey accent is. I don't even know if I really have an accent. I don't act like anybody from here. I can't even really tell you what would be the, what's the word? The typical Jersey citizen. Because I don't freaking pay attention. I'm out here just trying to create. And not have to worry about these damn jobs being a pain in the ass. So I can't exactly tell you what everybody else around here. I know there's at least a few here who are kind of like redneck-esque. Or Southern-esque. Assuming redneck is technically considered a slur. I don't really know. It might be. A lot of words are slurs these days, and it does make sense. As the English language grows, so do certain words that we once used as like a normal way to describe something becomes more of a taboo to use. Like, the R word. That a lot of people are kind of just going into just abbreviating it to tard. With the whole lib and all that stuff. You know what it is. You know how it is. A lot of people just wanting to hate on things for no reason other than it's not my worldview that they follow, and if they don't follow it, then they ain't human or something. I know that's the extreme, but I'm pretty sure a few people can agree with me that some of them, if they do know some people like that, are probably like, yeah, I know somebody who's like that. Maybe not all of them are like that, but some are. It sucks, though. The society we have is full of hatred. The economy we have is fucking terrible. I constantly, as of recent, keep thinking back to that frickin'... I don't know if it was a TikTok, but it was definitely a video of some form. I'm gonna just call it a video. Of Duke Nukem. It went something like this. Those damn alien bastards are real. The government confirmed it. What the fuck? Why don't I feel anything? I'm just imagining a Duke duplicant just over here having a existential crisis. He's the one duplicant that somehow managed to get some kind of, a reasonable working wage, who somehow have broken free from the usual stupidity that most of the duplicants have. And it's just like becoming a working member of society. Because obviously, this particular Duke that's doing that video, he's seen the aliens before. Although you could also reason it as it being, well, what if the aliens were government-made and the government are just using Duke as a means to, make it seem like they're sending in their best to take out a threat that they created themselves. That's actually a pretty hilarious way to think about the entire Duke Nukem games, is that all of the aliens are not actual aliens, but are man-made, quote-unquote, aliens, designed specifically to look like extraterrestrial threats. And they're like, sure, we had to kill a few freaking people to make it seem realistic, but I'm making a mother of all omelet here, Duke. Can't fret over every cracked egg or something. Yep. That would be a pretty strange turn of events Duke Nukem would take. If they bring Duke Nukem back, I hope they make that a plot line. That it's actually the government that's the enemy here, and all the aliens that were, Duke fought was actually fake. Made from the government. What are you looking at? See, the cat agrees with me. You gonna meow again? That's why I'm doing this first instead of the Game Crafter 1 at the moment. Primarily so that I can get all of this done with while the cat mellows out. Because obviously I've been gone for 8 freaking hours. So of course she's going a little bit crazy because it's been a while since I've been here. Meows at me because I'm busy. Right, Moo Moo? Meow. Anyways, yeah. That. See, even if the government were to confirm aliens exist, our society has gotten to a point where everything is just fucking shitty. All the jobs out there are forcing people to work more hours than they should. Some people aren't getting a lot of pay. I'm lucky enough to be at least able to get that, but even then that's not enough because freaking 3-people household, we're making a decent amount of money that most people probably would kill to make. And it's just not enough still. It's still not enough. The economy is working against everyone. It doesn't matter how much money you make. No matter what, it's always working against you. And it sucks. Something has to change. I don't care if there has to be a great freaking depression to make the idiots up top think that, oh shit, something has to change. So long as something massive happens that forces these fools in their freaking current old ways to change something out, nothing's going to change. And I don't even know what the hell kind of party you would have to follow for any of that, because I'm sure every single one of them has their downs and ups. Or some's halves are just straight up downs, depending on what the hell's going to happen when certain people get elected. I don't really know. I can't say I'd ever participate in anything like voting, because I don't know shit about politics. I have no idea who would be the best one to vote for. And it's also one factor that I don't want to vote, because there's going to be a group who will be like, you didn't vote for this person? Well, you're my sworn mortal enemy now. I don't know who you are, why you exist. All I know is you didn't vote for my person, the man I voted for, and now I want you dead. Although, granted, it's probably going to be like, you didn't vote for any single person, I want you dead. You can't win with these idiots in politics, because they just have one-note personalities. And I don't really want to get into any of that. I'm going to keep bad-mouthing it, obviously. I'm going to keep saying I don't give a damn about politics, and I hate it. And I will let that hate be known. I take no sides. I wish there was no sides. I wish we all just got together as a species to fucking help us out of this rut we've given ourselves. But we can't. There has to be a side. There has to be an enemy. There can't just be anything for us to work towards. We've gotten everything we needed. Like, okay, sure, it would be fine if there was like a rivalry to like get people to go up, but the rivalry should be like, good job, man. Yeah, thanks. We've made better advancements for the entirety of the human race, and I hope we can do the same thing in the next competition. No, it's like, you did this? Well, fuck you. I'm going to make my own thing, and I'm going to make it better. And it's just going to be complete and utter crap, and everybody else gets screwed over in the end because we all just can't get along. It's just a fight, a never-ending struggle to want to think that we're on top, one up on everyone. No reasonable rivalry, none of that. It's just a constant battle. And that would be probably a reason why I don't really care about sports. And sure, I do watch Go, my favorite sports team, but it's more so just for, Markiplier hilarity and also freaking, what do you call it, stuff. I can't tell you a thing about what I heard in that department because it's not something I care too much to really learn, but I do like the moments of Baby Mark doing intense things like skiing down a mountain with angry yetis chasing him. But yeah, I don't really care for sports, and I don't really care for politics. All I care about is creating. I'm a creator. If there's one thing I can say I have some massive amounts of inspiration from, is that Markiplier would be my inspiration to continue to create. He is my drive to create, because he seeks to create as well. And the more he creates, the more inspiring it gets. Right, Cat? Right? Right? Where are you? Categories, I think. But yes, I find it better to just create. It's a hell of a lot better, on all honesty, than to get sucked into the more toxic side of things. I guess there's also toxic side of creations as well. But I try not to really delve too deep into most of those. Well, there is actually one particular thing that is interesting, but it's... What you doing, cat? So, I guess I could probably, bring this up now since I just found out today. Y'all remember Christian? There goes your mind. Go be like, oh God, what happened now? What do you do now? Well, I don't know too much about him outside of the fact that he apparently what's the word? Gave problems to a GameStop employee, tried to transition to a woman to try to get with lesbians. Didn't work out. Spoilers. Well, that's like a freaking several-year saga. If you don't know that, well, that means you don't know anything about Christian, and you're lucky. You're one of the lucky few who don't know. He got charges dropped from the things that he did with his mother. I see, because here's the thing, I don't really know too much about this, but I do know that the mother was manipulative and a terrible person. Now, the real question is she senile, or does she know exactly what she's doing? And she's got Chris wrapped around her fingers, and everybody else wrapped around her fingers as well. It's easy to play the role of a senile person. All you gotta do is just give a blank stare. Just be that one man who froze in the middle of a conference. I can't remember his name because I don't care too much about it, but the man who just had a little mini stroke. Like that. No, I shouldn't really joke about it, even though he's apparently a bad person, but, probably shouldn't have old people who are on the verge of dementia in charge of anything, even if they're just basically the quote-unquote face of something. And the real people in charge are the ones that are their assistants. To be honest with you, I can't exactly say for certain what the solution would be, but whatever they have currently is not a good solution. Anyways, she definitely could be the one manipulating the whole thing. And, well, it's hard to really say what the story here for this is, but he's back at his house now. Somebody saw him in fucking Walmart. Of all the places, I think, Walmart, right? I'm gonna look it up just in case. I'm gonna look it up while Google takes a few fucking seconds to load. Alright, well, while Google takes a few seconds to load, because for some reason our internet is still shit. I'm gonna do a little bit more of this. Are you done, Google? Are you done yet? Still fucking loading? Are you kidding me? Ugh. I swear technology is taking a million steps back. Are you done yet? How about now? There we go. Alright. Well, yeah, Walmart. You're saying Walmart 2023, definitely. Of all the places you'd find him in after getting out of prison or something, Walmart. These are the people of Walmart 2023, and then you'd see just a picture of Christian acting like Bigfoot over here, just walking normally, and people are like, a wild Christian. People who are technically part of the problem. I imagine if the people who were just stalking this man would just not have done that, it probably wouldn't be as infamous as he is now. To have literally almost 3 days worth of a documentary made of him. It still baffles me that there's like over 70 parts of a documentary. Maybe not all of them are 48 hours or so, but from what I saw in the beginning, because I don't know if I'm watching all that. Although I guess if I were to have to freaking watch that, it would have to be in prep for, God, I don't know. Imagine there's a freaking trial or something and I somehow get picked as a jury duty. I'd have to just have all this on in the back. I mean, I think my knowledge of this person definitely probably gets me exempt from being a part of that jury. Yeah, there's a lot that are like over 30 and 40. Jesus Christ. And that's like I'm going back in time as I scroll down and look through all of this. Yeesh. Man. I'd feel bad for any juror who would have to sit through days, not even freaking like, I don't even know how long it would take if you're in a jury. I don't know how long you're supposed to be because I haven't been in one yet. Don't know if I ever will be in one. Hard to say. But if you had to sit through days of having to watch a documentary on this one person for some reason or another, I don't even know. There has to be like some kind of regulations to make it so that doesn't occur, because that just seems painful. I can't imagine anybody having to go through all of that. But I don't know. I've never been on it. And I hope I never will. I really hope I never will. Especially freaking that particular jury. That would suck a million dicks. But at this point, who doesn't know? They would have to find somebody who doesn't know about it. Like, at all. Or at the very least, I have to be like, alright, we can't find anybody. You're the one. You have to come in and do this. And I'd be like, what? But I know about, I'm prejudiced about this person here. I'm definitely probably going to vote guilty because there's definitely some issues that occurred here. Or at the very least, vote to have him in a mental institution to get help or some shit. It's like, at that point, why even bother? You got somebody who's definitely had several psychotic breaks over the course of decades. I feel like it'll be more safer and more, humane to have him in a mental institution to get some kind of help. Honestly, I don't even know how we could bounce back to a normal life. I think at this point, there's no way you can go back to a normal life. You've acquired so much infamy that everybody knows what you are, what you look like, and where to find you, somehow. Though, then again, it seems like he doesn't really have too much of a presence of, caring about people knowing where he is. It's hard to say, really. I would have to look into that documentary at some point, but I have cliff notes. I don't know if I really want to sit through hours worth of that, though. But, these things kind of happen. You got people who go down an infamous route. Whether or not you can really do anything about it, well, it all really depends on how you react to all the criticism and all the people online. And how you feel about all that, too. So I've kind of gotten to a point where I really don't care about people giving hate or, stuff like that. If I get a hate comment, I usually ignore it. No point in really engaging in it. If I can get a positive comment to the hate comment, then, that's good too. Because then what they're going to do? They're going to clap back and double down on their hate. They're going to look like the dick. While I'm just there looking like the good person. Which I guess technically I can be, but I can also be the bad person as well. But that's mostly with all of the particular kinds of drawings that I do that involve mature-based things. Now, this episode is definitely... Really, cat? This episode is definitely a kind of dark one. If you don't know, this is supposed to be like a Romeo and Juliet kind of episode. Maybe not one for one, because this is a three-way love triangle. Well, not really three-way in a sense. You got one side that is the Montagues, or in this case, the Montgomery. And you got the other side, which is I can't remember what it is, but I called it the Cardigans, I believe. I mean, I could just look it up pretty easily. I have it in my characters. Yep, the Cardigans. being the ones that I can't really fully remember the name of, because I don't know too much about the thing. All I need to know is that in the end, both, well, depending on the iteration, I don't really know what iteration most people go through. Wait, okay. But both Romeo and Juliet dies. I mean, the cousin seems pretty protective over it, but I'm not using the cousin role. I'm using the Cardigan by name, and he loves her, and he loves her. And we got these two groups splitting up to try to bring peace to these two guys, the chieftains. Well, the lord of both the kingdom, your kingdom, and the village, your village. Which your village is more, quote-unquote, modern. But there is no modernity. You've seen what the buildings look like in this series. You've seen how some of them can look like huts and some of them can look like actual full-on buildings. Take the Town of Creation, for instance, even though that is kind of more of a kingdom. But we've only seen the villages so far that have only just mostly been a part... that have mostly just been a part of kingdom... No. Rewind. You've only seen the villages so far that have been small villages. That holds not a lot of people, but a decent amount. Enough to where you don't need, like, fancy houses and whatnot. I don't quite really remember the entire concept in terms of the rich and the poor of Romeo and Juliet, but I'm kind of doing, like, you know, one side has a kingdom, the other has a big village. This kingdom is walled off, kind of. The other one is not, but it does have a cool river going through it. And if you were to mark this on the map anywhere, let me go into here, the more updated map. If you were to mark this on the map anywhere, it would be this being the Cardigan Kingdom and this being the Montgomery Village. Because, you know, they came from Brim, Dragonia, going through to here and going up into this area, seeing issues and whatnot, and then, you know, well, I think they probably stop at the village at first, see that there are problems, group splits up to try to get things to not, like, to calm down, fails, and you know how the story of Romeo and Juliet ends. And then they go over to the Leviathan Kingdom, because nothing could have been done. It's going to be a pretty freaking dark episode. So, Romero, the Romeo of this story, and Juvia, the Juliet of this story, which is going to suck because I'm only going off of Juvia because I'm not doing the usual old Julie or anything that's close to Juliet. I'm using Juvia because, you know, I've been watching Fairy Tail recently. And it sucks that I'm naming a character that's slated to die on episode 1 of their first introduction. But you know what? It is what it is. That's the story of Romeo and Juliet. This guy doesn't die, though, but he gets to freaking... Well, he probably is going to be like a warlord to hit... Because, like, what? Cardigan by name? Or maybe he's the reason why... So, it depends, because he's only a Cardigan by name, not by blood. Unless we want to go down that route. But we might not. We might, but most likely not. To be honest with you, I can't really say 100% for a fact. Just wait a minute. It's fine. I have the thing right here. Regardless, yeah, he's definitely like the main cause for the war occurring. While we have Gwyneth and friends trying their best to stop it. There is definitely going to be an instance where Domadora is going to get slightly nerfed due to rain. We don't know too much about, like, certain weaknesses that the characters have. But in the rain, Domadora's ability is more deadly to everyone around him than helpful. So if he were to use his abilities when there are allies nearby in any form of water, his friends will get damaged, but he will not. So in order for him to not go and use his abilities, he can't utilize it like in massive form. You can do like little sparks, but anything that requires a massive amount of magical energy in terms of, boosting forward at a fast speed is going to be impossible for him to do. Now, unless he has other electric users who would actually be benefited from it, but that's the issue. You're a group filled with unique power. Now, that's not to say he can't fully utilize his abilities, it's just he has to be careful when utilizing it in an area of effect. Like, say, he could probably use an arc snap, because it's more like pinpoint. It'll more so go towards his target, but it will have a much wider range of effect as most of the electricity spreads out. That's kind of like the intricacies to its abilities. It's similar to how fire users probably wouldn't be doing good in the rain either. It would be less powerful. You would still be able to use your magic. I just want to have a precedent set where you can still use your magic, but it won't be as effective because you're in a specific environment that nullifies it a bit. I don't want to have any instances here where you can't use magic. It's just you can't use it as effectively without either hurting someone or not doing enough damage against something. I think that's the best way to probably go about doing that, though, in all honesty. Because, again, it's good to not, have things be completely useless because of certain instances. Plus, I don't think it's going to matter in this department. I think the instance here is that he gets a fatal hit on him. They can't really do anything about it. She runs in. They look, mortified. And before anybody has any time to react, boom, in the chest. The Chief Tims comes in, sees his son and her daughter died. War is declared. And since he's the one that this group is mostly, going to meet first, as these two try to, do something to try to make them see the reason or something like that. He's going to be one that says you should probably leave. Things are not going to go good here. Not the exact words, because I have to think of it. But yeah, he probably would suggest them to leave. And they would be right to leave. They tried to help, fucked up, and now there's a war. A civil war in the savannas. Now, these are just one types of trees. I do want to do different types of trees, but I kind of want to have that be more towards like the northeast. If I were to do eastern side of the savanna. If I were to do another episode in this area. There's not going to be another episode taking place in the savanna in Season 1 right now. I know Season 2 has a lot of free space for me to choose from. I know at least there's going to be one instance of the group going into the Leviathan Kingdom again. One that I think some people are going to like. It all depends on what your type is. If you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Oh no. The massive shit is rearing its head up again. I can hold it off for a little bit while longer, but it won't be long before I'll be like, you gotta pause your video now and take a shit. Whatever's inside of you is too much. Okay, I'm gonna have that one be different. And that one different too. I'll have this one be like this. But yes, that's... And the crap is back again, and it's annoying. And I wish it wasn't here. Oh, wait. It heard me, and now it's trying to leave. Alright, stay dormant for now until the episode ends. We're almost done. It's not a lot left, thankfully. It's not like I have a whole lot to talk about. I could talk about current events. Oh, like apparently that EDP guy got caught again. I haven't talked about him, at all, but, there's this guy who apparently, did some bad things talked to some children. And he avoided prison somehow. But now, I think they got him this time. I think they did because there was a group of people who somehow caught him. Again, in the act. Coming to meet like I don't know how old, but a teenager. And not an 18 or 19-year-old, no. Not even, doesn't make any difference, but not a 17 or 16-year-old neither. You can't use like the freaking backwards ass state laws in some states where the legal age of consent is 16 for some freaking reason. I don't know why. Although I can't imagine that's like all of them are like 16 years old, but you can be like 40 or something. No, it's probably like 16 so long as you're like in your not 20, so long as you're like 9. No, because that would only be a 3-year difference. That's like the norm. Because if you're dating a 16-year-old at 19 years old, that's only 3 years difference. Not a huge difference, but you know, considering the fact that you're all still teenagers. Actually, how would that work? How exactly would that work? I would never know this, because for one thing, I'm freaking 27. And for another thing, at the time, I was not really a social person. So I would have never have ever gotten into a situation that had that thought process in my head. Unfortunately, I never had any riz as a teenager. Do I have it now? I don't know. I stopped giving a damn. Maybe that's what you need to have, riz. Just don't give a damn about what people think. Let everything happen the way it is. Work hard to get to what you want, and boom. Have fun with your life. But if you're too worried and desperate about trying to find somebody to be with, then it's just going to be upsetting. That's the thing. I think that's kind of where I leaned towards as I went on, you know, grew up and all that stuff. Is that there's no point in trying to pine for someone, no point in trying to really, you know, go out of your way to get with somebody when you know they don't want it. It's better to just live your life and create. Ever since I really just started doing Photoshop, and as the years went by, I've kind of just gotten to a point now where all I really care about is creating. And we could talk about that more in a minute. Did I get it? No, no, there it is. I got it. Or not. I hate these bugs. But yeah, no, the whole instance with the EDP, that's definitely, oof. Well, they got him. And hopefully it sticks. Hopeless. So, anywho's in which, yeah, as I was saying before, because there's not much I can really say about the other one. Creating. You should take up creating. Take up a hobby. Do whatever. Learn how to make music, whether it be playing it or using a program. I use Reaper Studio. Technically, it's free for 60 days. Technically, you can still use it after the 60 days. But it's best you go on ahead and get a license for it regardless. I have a license for mine. It took a while to get to that point, but, you know, rent was more important, and it's not like I was getting anywhere close to being able to sell the games that I'm making with the music. Unlike most developers out there, I'm taking my time. Doing whatever I can to make it so my game works, looks good, and the levels are decent. Unlike all the crap out there that seem to be selling. Mostly that one Adams game that I saw, ooh, that's the wrong button, that I saw Charlie play. That weird LSD game, which is weird, but at least everything worked. It had good mechanics. And it looks like time went into it. It's one of those kinds of games where it looks bad, but it's actually pretty good. But man, does it make you feel like you're high on something. Which is the point, technically speaking. You're making a cool... You see, that roguelike shooter probably would have been good if they put any effort into the process. All you really needed to do was make the code actually freaking work, which is not hard. It's not hard to make the code work. Like, seriously, why make it so terrible? Even if it is a crappy asset grab, at least put some thought into it. Like, if I were given the assets, if I was, like, given all the assets, and with my current knowledge of Unity, and somebody is like, make a game out of this, I could be like, okay, I could do something with that. I could definitely make, like, I could definitely try to go on ahead and make a million times better arcade shooter, and I'd probably not give it out for free. If it's an assets thing, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to give it for free, obviously. Assuming you can do that on Steam, but I don't know why you can't. Also, I don't know why I'm going over there yet. It's not that hard. If you test the game out and be like, okay, this movement speed is terrible. Let's increase that a little bit. The dodge mechanic is a bit too slow. Let's make it so there's very small cooldown on that. It's not hard. It's really not hard at all. Now, granted, I would need to still learn how to actually utilize animations and whatnot in the code instance. Because right now, the only thing that I'm currently learned in Paint Maze is, well, save mechanic for one thing, a lot of the variable stuff, and basic movement. At least not, physics-based movement. When I say basic movement, I mean like transition movement. Everything moving grid space-wise, that kind of stuff, really. I have a process going, and I will take my damn time to get it done with and proper. I have a plan. I have everything planned out. And I'm even planning out dialogue for the voice log stuff. I'm doing everything within my power to make sure that my game works. And it's at least challenging and fun for everybody to play. Of course, the beginning might be a bit slow because obviously with 999 levels, you gotta make sure that some people can play some of them. Because there are definitely going to be a lot of levels that are going to be challenging. Might be too challenging for some. So having at least a decent amount of easy levels that you can beat pretty easily in the beginning would be good for those. Like, I'm not really targeting any demographics. I'm just making this because it's a game that I thought of when I was a kid long ago. But any kids trying to play this, at the very least, they have a general idea on how to play it. So long as they know WASD, so long as they know how to read, any kid could play the game. They just have to know how to move and stuff like that. But not every kid's going to be able to beat it. Because again, like I said, there are some levels that are going to be way too hard for some people to beat. A lot of them are optional. And who knows? Maybe they get better as they play through the zones. And then when they get to the end, they'll be able to beat it. There'll be a challenge for them. But if they use their brain and they do what needs to be done in terms of completing a level, they'll get through it no problem. And that's essentially the idea with Paint Maze. To have a decent amount of easy levels for people to play, and have a considerable amount of medium to hard levels, and hard being one of the lower level hards. Like, I'd say tier 2 to like tier 4 levels. And these amount of tier 5s with a small amount of tier 6s and at least one tier 7. And by a small amount of tier 6s, I mean that's probably like, what, 100 or so? 100 very hard levels. And some probably even harder. Some might even be close to tier 7. I don't fully know, but I have an idea on the difficulty that I want for some of those levels. I think the one major issue I'm going to have is trying to figure out how to optimize it. Most of the zones seem kind of fine in terms of optimization, surprisingly. The only ones that seems to have a struggle is the main menu. And I can understand that because a lot of things there are all updated. I think I can have it set to where I run a singular command whenever you move through a blockology menu or the mapology menu that updates all of the things once. And I think that might fix the optimization issue there, because having a lot of things running in the updates department, it's not good. From what I read, having update run a bunch is not good. I haven't fixed mine. It's going to be a little tricky to implement when I don't have a whole lot of time thanks to this fucking job. But I have a plan in mind. Now all I gotta do is execute it. See? It's not that hard. You have to have a plan in mind. Don't treat the game that you're making like a one-off project as a quick cash grab. Seems like a lot of companies do that nowadays. I wouldn't really know what to say much about Starfield because I don't have it. A lot of people seem to enjoy it. A lot of people seem disappointed that it's not what they thought it was going to be. Which I can understand. But from what I've heard, the exploration in that game has a lot to be desired. I would say... Damn it. The shit is back again. I hate it. You get that feeling in your freaking, thigh, right here, thigh. If here's where your dick is and here's where your stomach is, your thigh right here. Actually, this would probably be a better example. Stomach, dick, thigh. When you have to take a shit so badly that it does that, it's annoying. It's annoying as all hell. Maybe it's the Domino's pizza that I had. Probably. I had 6 slices. 2 small and 4 relatively large. Not relatively large. If I were to have to... Jesus Christ, that's tripping me out. Doing that thing where if I click on it, it makes a orange... Well, no, a black or orange, depending on if I'm selected on it or not. Outline that it usually doesn't do... But I have to update this stupid computer. You know, I'm going to probably just close these for now and update this. So I also should probably a good idea to do that so this computer GPU doesn't just continue to scream. Alright, anyways. So, yeah, this is what we have currently in this department. Man. It really is just trying to freaking come out. You can wait a little while longer. We've been only at this for almost an hour. Which, I knew this was going to take a while. But we're close to being done. So, you know what? We're almost on point here. Which is great. Which is awesome. If I can get this done with, have the stupid computer update. I'm probably not going to fully upload this yet. I'll probably only upload this and keep this in draft after, tomorrow, because I have a plan to do a quick food drawing. Because I have 12 hours on Thursday as well, for some fucking reason. I hate it so much. Oh, wait, I should probably put this underneath the rain. You know, technically it doesn't matter. Rain is so opaque or transparent that you probably can't really even see it that well. Anyways, yeah. This is definitely going to be an depressing story. I mean, it is called Fatal Love Triangle after all. That is indeed what it is called. Well, it does kind of share properties with Romeo and Juliet. It's going off of, a different kind of story. Oh, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if the iterations of Romeo and Juliet involve the whatever the hell the C family is. Their original name is, not the Cardigans, having any form of incestual nonsense to it. Cousins, basically, they are. But in this form, it's different. In this form, they are two completely different things. And I think the idea here is he's a Cardigan by name who is being, forced to marry the daughter of the Lord. But in the end, the daughter wanted this guy over here. And in the end, that just led to a vicious brawl. Not a brawl, a duel. With two swords. Strange looking swords, but swords, well, they're more like long daggers. Aren't long daggers just swords? Just the way the daggers is built just looks like, long swords or something, I don't know. Long daggers, not long swords. Long swords are different. They are their own things. Those actually exist. Long daggers are just simply daggers. I mean, obviously, when this episode comes out, this episode is already out and written and done with. So, spoiler-wise, it's already out there for everyone to watch. If you're watching this first instead of reading the episode, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? Oh, wait a minute. That's going to be a problem, isn't it? Hold on. That is a good point, me. Thanks, me. I have to move all the shadows off of them. Or at least try. No, you idiot. Alt. Not X, Alt. Do a little shift. Do a little shift. And a little more shift. And a little more shift. Even though I don't think this matters because I don't think we got anything there. And then we'll do a layer via cut. Shadows 1B. I probably didn't need to do that. And I'll put this on top of... Who was on top again? Damodar. There. Now I just gotta go ahead, reselect them again. Jesus Christ, this fucking program is just having a hard time with everything in general. Ah, wait, shit. I'd say maybe I could do... No, technically I could... you know what, it's fine. I'll go into Shadows, 1A. I'll try to grab everything from these right here. Good. Do that. Go back to this. Wrong one. Lasso. That's an L apparent. That's L, right? Let me just see. L. Yep. And now I just do this. Does that work or is that not going to work? Wait. Hold on. Alright, I gotta do it like this then. Very careful now. Is that selecting what we want to select? Technically, yes. And I could just cut that out. Take this out. Scroll all the way. The hell? And I just hear the dogs pittering and pattering upstairs, apparently. And I'm going to just do a little bit of that so the shadows here are kind of blending in better. And delete some of that. No, well, actually it doesn't matter because that's already kind of where it needs to be. Yeah. Alright, now we just go on ahead, go into here, and then just do the rest of the shadows now that we have where we need to be. So it's not, yeah, most of that's up there is fine. Just go over here. Get out of that, damn it. Put this in, and do some shadows here. Doesn't matter where the shadows go there because not a lot is really being shown down there. There's also foreground shadows I probably should do. Where's the foreground again? Just remind me. Up here. Okay. Maybe we can get rid of some shadows around the face here, because this seems, whoops, wrong one. This seems a little bit too much in this department. Just a little bit. Right, back to the shadows. I think most of the shadows here is fine. Now we can go over to the mid-ground, even though I probably should get those guys up top there. But like I said, it's fine. Focus on the shadows. Overtaking most of the land. And before I thought I was going to have the things swapped. You know, like Lord Montgomery here and Lord Cardigan here. But then I realized that wasn't really going to work too well. Because I had the idea to have the mountains close to the Leviathan Kingdom be shown. Right now we just have the volcanic region being shown in the back instead. So it's going to be like a swap with your village here and your kingdom here with this up here. But that didn't make any sense, geographic-wise. So I decided to have the volcano in the back here. That's what I decided to do, and that's where we left off with it. Yep, Anyways, there's this one thing I've been wanting to say for ages now, and I have not been able to get to the chance of saying it for some freaking reason, because I keep getting sidetracked and forgetting about it. But have you ever heard of that Pilk meme? But not just any Pilk meme. The Pilk meme that involves that weird little tiny cat creature thing. Neko Arc. Well, for some freaking reason, whenever I think anybody says the word Pilk, because I usually call it Mepsi, whenever I hear somebody say that, I keep thinking that it's milk coming from Neko Arc. And it makes me feel weird about it, because how is that? Why is that a thing? But no, it's literally just the entirety of Neko Arc just combining milk and Pepsi together into one thing. Pilk. Which sounds like milk coming from Neko Arc's very small breasts. And it just does not sit right with me. The word Pilk in general doesn't sit right with me. That's why I call it Mepsi. Mepsi sounds better. Besides, it's mostly Pepsi anyways. I have an entire can of soda poured in, even though I haven't had it in a while now. But that's primarily because I think that's the kind of stuff that's been keeping me up at night. But also all the stress probably doesn't help either. So yes, I just wanted to say that. Now you all have that thought process inside of your heads. Now you get to suffer alongside me. Anyways, not to say that's not necessarily a bad thing, because there's this one person by the name of Icy, I think, who has drawn Neko Arc in a freaking red dress. And now it's gotten to the point where they have just decided it's time to fully sexualize this weird cat gremlin creature thingy. Which, you know what? I'm for. She's supposed to essentially be, you know, some cat deity thing cosplaying this, lady, who I can't remember her name. I think her name was like Joanne Arc or something. I don't quite recall. So yeah, you know what? That's fine, I guess. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, look at that fog. I don't know if I want to make it a little bit lighter, though. We just see these massive titans. They rule most of the savannah towards the west. I can't imagine being... Okay, hold on. I'm going to bring this up again. But I can't imagine being these guys right here. These two villages right here who have no say in the matter of what's going on here. An entire civil war happening to the west side of savannas. And then you got just the guys living inside of the mountain forest. I don't know if that's a forest or a jungle. It looks more like a massive forest with mountains that also have forests. Dense forest up top. But these guys just living back here, there's probably like some group who's just like got a little pathway up the mountain. They have like a little telescope here to just look and see the battle that happens in this area. See all the bloodshed and death. And they'd be like, boy, am I glad we're up. Am I glad we're safe up here and they're dead down there. And that he's the sheriff. It's freaking... These guys just very lucky that they live within an area that's not gonna get them all killed due to a massive war between two lords and their family. I just find it very hilarious that Gwyneth and friends somehow managed to cause a civil war between two families. All they were trying to do was go to the Leviathan Kingdom, and then they stuck their noses in business they were not supposed to stick their noses in, trying to help. But in the end, it was inevitable. It was a powder keg waiting to happen. Yep, it is what it is, I guess. Can't really stop the unrelenting war between two families. Rain clouds. Before I go into the lights and effects, well, technically this is considered effects. But before I go into the lighting and the other type of effects, I'm going to get some raindrops in here. Shit and time to be damned, I'm going to at least try to do my best to make it look as though it's raining. And this one's just simple. All we really need is just little bits of raindrops coming off of their body. Right now, this is just the mist of the raindrops. I'll make this a little bit lower. I'm not going to have rain coming off of them because they're just figureheads shown in the background to showcase that they are indeed, in fact, important heads here. Like, I guess technically we have shown the important characters. Like in episode 8, we did showcase the bandits, finally, but I felt like that was a perfect time to showcase them. And then in episode 9, we showcased, Alistair and his friends. Alright, I'm going to make this white. And I'm going to go on ahead and have a bunch of particles. Space it out. Others dynamic. Color dynamic. Scatter. Size shitter. This one I'll just call rain particles. clouds. Alright, rain particles coming off of their heads. Because this is how I basically have done raindrops. Trying to make it look like it's coming off and bouncing off, basically. Not too much, though. And then, of course, you guys need the raindrop as well. I'll probably also have some of the clouds kind of just go in the background and do their own thing. Cover the land in a little overlay of mist, almost. The savanna's got rain to it. We don't need anything there. Your hats kind of protect most of your body from the rain. You've been at this for how long? An hour and 15. Not bad. Alright, let's see. This one I don't really need to do too much in. All I gotta do is go over to the mid-grounds and just do rain clouds. Just have like a big mist of rain clouds over here. Well, I guess technically I could have some droplets coming off of the water. See a lot of the clouds in the background. And I could just have some rain particles. Now I gotta switch all the way back to here again. Put everything back to where it needs to be again. Hopefully this still stays the same. It seems like it's doing that. Good. What are you doing, cat? You looking yourself? She's in her box. I'd show you it, but I don't really feel like moving it right now. With the textures of rain already kind of looks like it's got a bunch of raindrops on it. Or raindrop bits on it. A little bit over here. A little bit over here. Well, not too much there because of the particles. Well, some of the particles could look like it's coming off of that, so I think most of that is fine. Let's go over to the river real quick. I'm going to go over to the dodge tool. Because I technically could have just... That probably would have been easier to just go over there instead of just pressing Alt-Tab like I usually do. Go into highlights, I think. And make it look like the water is rippling a little. It's heavy rain. Easiest way for me to do this. Because I don't know the best way to do this just yet. And it still kind of works. It's not the best, but it still works. Still does what I needed to do. Alright, let's just bring this back to normal, because if I don't, it's just going to give me issues. One time that stupid problem actually does help. I'm glad I've gotten used to shortcut keys, though. Alright, let's get the lighting in now. We're almost done, thankfully. I'm glad I didn't have to sacrifice too much quality. Actually, I didn't really sacrifice any quality. Everything's kind of going perfectly the way it needs to go. Surprisingly, actually. But then again, I'm taking more than an hour, which was the time I was estimating this would take me to get done with. Plus, I did spend a lot of time getting this done with off camera on the 3-day weekend that I had. It's a shame. But the 3-day weekend is just not enough to prepare me for the bullshit that they have in the next freaking week and two after that. That's why there's another week. Light glow. Light glow. 5th day overlay. I'm probably going to do a save this onto the hard drive, rename the video to what it needs to be. Well, maybe, no, don't worry about the thumbnail yet. I'll make that after whoopses. I'll make that after I'm finished with the other thing tomorrow. The other episode. Technically, I'm making an episode that comes before this episode. I did have an idea that I would like to try out once I am finished with putting these light bits here. Let's try to make sure their face is free of any particles. Now I just gotta go on ahead, get the shadow rays. I don't think I need to separate the shadow rays as much. Most of the shadow rays are kind of over everything anyways. I guess we could probably go on ahead and ask, who are you siding for? Whose side are you on? Both sides have their cons and pros. One lives in a pretty cool village. You could probably consider it more of British village. And also via the outfits that they wear, they definitely do have a more British tone, which is strange despite the fact that they live in the savannas, but we're not going by the typical standards of where most people live in our country, because this is my own world. And if I say the British get to live in the savannas, then so be it. If that's where they want to be, then so shall they be. Besides, it's not like this is actually British people, because this is Etheria. This is a completely different world, where the continent that this series taking place in is called Pamanor. Not North America, not South America, not Europe. Certainly not Asia. Africa? Nope. Australia? Well, might be one continent that's similar to Australia with how goddamn dangerous it is, but that's mostly the distant plains. Or distant Alpines. Not distant plains. The distant Alpines. And this ain't certainly no Antarctica. But there is an area that's similar to Antarctica. I just don't remember the name, and I don't feel like bringing it up right now. Alright, you guys are going to get a nice shadow ray coming off of your head and most of your body. Okay, they kind of show like just how much power these guys have. I do want to make it so that they don't show any disdain towards Gwyneth and friends. It's just the whole, this was bound to happen whether you guys helped or not. You tried everything you could. You're not to blame for the inevitable. Because it makes sense. This was bound to happen. Nothing could have been done. At the end of the day, the family was slated to go at war. Who's going to win? Who the fuck knows? Nobody's going to be coming out of this with a fistful of dollars. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yo, Jimbo. And he goes inwards. This is almost done. All I gotta do is put in the shadow rays, which I probably could reduce a little bit. Whose side looks cooler? Romero, Lord Montgomery? Or Tyler? I didn't even say his name. I said Juvia, and I said Romero, but I didn't say Tyler, who was supposed to be the tribute of this story, but not actually the tribute, because there's actually a love triangle going on here, so it would be weird if it was. See, I'm making my own story here. And questioning whether or not I want to go for the incest role really depends. Do I want you guys to hate the Cardigans, or do I want you to at least have like a reason to be like, these guys are actually pretty cool? And they already have somebody planned to be their daughter's husband. Somebody who's already a Cardigan by name, but not by blood. No clue. The idea here is to try to give some pros and cons, and if it's an entire family full of incest, then I can't really think of any pros that can outweigh that. Especially opposite sex incest, where you run the chance of coming across an eldritch abomination baby. You don't want that. You most certainly don't want that. That'll bring forth the eldritch gods, and you don't want the eldritch gods to come into our world now, do you? So maybe we won't really go down that route. You'll see it. You already know what route we're going down. I'm just spitballing potential ideas of what could occur. What might occur, what might happen. I feel like Cardigan by name is a much better way to go about doing this to avoid the incestual route. So that's what we're going to do. Make it so he's already slated to marry the daughter of the Cardigans. He already has their name and whatnot. The honor of having their name. That seems too much. Do I have $1? Okay, yeah, that one works. The entire setup of my swatches here have gotten changed up due to having added new swatches. Which is a good thing to do. Adding more swatches means I have more opportunities for different things to occur. Okay, I do kind of like the pink coming down from here. It slightly lights these guys up a bit. I just don't know if I want the entire area here to be teal or not. Teal to kind of weigh the pink, because this is supposed to be daytime. Kind of works. I'm just not entirely too sure what I'm going for here. But it doesn't matter. How long have we been at this so far? Almost an hour and a half. Jesus. Well, it's not like it's going to take me that long to make the next Game Crafter episode. I don't know. I kind of like that. So we could probably have like a nice purple-ish color down here. Nah. I was thinking maybe I can get like light purple here, but I don't know if I can. I feel like I need to have like greens and teals. Like a teal here would probably look good to kind of showcase the gravity and the darkness of the situation. So I could probably just call this a dark teal area, or green teal, but it doesn't matter. And I can probably have like a nice light blue or something going over the area here. So it looks like the sun is out. I don't want too much focus to be brought upon Gwyneth and friends, because most of the focus consists solely off of these guys here. So having it look like there's like a nice little mist in the background is the idea that I want to go for. I think that's all I can do in the effects department, though. So now for the final part, the sepia. Or the 50% vivid overlay. Oh, that could look good if it wasn't so bright. I do kind of like that, but I feel like there has to be a better option. Oh, like that. Yeah. And that one could work, for at the very least, maybe not that, but maybe like this? I don't know. That's too bright. And that's too blended in. I don't want these guys to be too blended in. That's too much. Oh, what the hell was my brain thinking when I decided, let's try that color. Oh, I do like that, though. Let me do a once-over again. There we are. Keep it nice, teal, and rainy. Alright, now I gotta go through all my swatches to make sure it's all where it needs to be. Deal with this stupid thing showing itself. And go back to my basic bit swatch. Alright, we got done with this within an hour and a half. I'd say that's a pretty good, amount of time to get this done with. So there you go, folks. Get to see a little bit of the Montgomery village, and a little bit of the Cardigan village, and a little bit of their bloodline. So yeah, with effects, without effects, with effects, without effects, so on and so forth. So with that being said, thank you all for watching today's episode of Art Time. And there's another one that's going to be coming before this, but it's going to be all coming out in the same position. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like, subscribe for more, check out that there playlist, and of course, previous episode of Art Time over here, and the most recent episode of Played Up ROTC edition right over here. Hopefully this comes out at that time. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I will see you all in the next episode. Later.